Back, Pastor Rufus here, better known as Elder in these YouTube streets. Back with another one for the Beat 139 Sports Podcast. Today, I want to talk a little bit of NBA basketball, which is what I'm going to be talking all the time on here. I may dip over into some other stuff sometimes, but like today, we could talk a little bit about Nick Saban retiring, Bill Belichick, the New England Patriots deciding to step away. They're mutually deciding that. But what I want to talk about today is some of the buzz going on in the NBA. Things like the Golden State Warriors, who are falling apart at the seams. And a lot of people don't understand how difficult of a situation that the Golden State Warriors are in. When you have guys that have sacrificed and labored and done what they have done, guys like Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, but you can clearly see the writing is on the wall. What do you do as an organization now? Golden State has the highest payroll in the NBA. They are paying the highest tax in the NBA. Do you continue to be loyal and waste that money? And it's a waste for the simple fact that this team is not an NBA championship contending team. Now, me personally, I think the Golden State Warriors have some assets that they could move that would potentially make them more of a competitive team. Assets like Andrew Wiggins, assets like Chris Paul, assets like Jonathan Kuminga. I would actually keep Moses Moody, the young point guard they got from, is he from Santa Clara, Santa Cruz, or I can't remember, some with a P. He's pretty good though. I would keep him, but I would be interested in moving Kuminga just for the simple fact he has value, and I don't think he really fits the Golden State system. Definitely Andrew Wiggins has got something going on. He has not been the same since his personal leave last year, and definitely I would consider moving Chris Paul, being that he is hurt. You're not going to get him back to after the All-Star break, but a lot of teams will be interested in his $30 million salary falling off the books. So I would look to do that first and foremost to see if I can compete this year. If that does not work, then honestly, this is just my personal opinion, right? You have to have these honest conversations with guys like Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. I would have to tell them, look, man, I cannot keep y'all on this team and pay what I'm paying, knowing that we are not going to be able to win. I can't do it. I have to start over. Now, what does that mean for Steph Curry? How is he going to feel about that? So they got some serious decisions. I see why that Bob Myers guy retired and left them, man. He didn't want the smoke dealing with this. He did not want to be a part of having to make these decisions, because these decisions, people don't understand, they could last decades. They really could. Go back and look at how Boston Celtics got extremely sentimental when it came time to dealing with Larry Bird and Kevin McHale and that whole group, right? And they held on to them guys too long, and look how long it took Boston to get back to a point where they can really compete. It literally took them forming their big three with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen and Rondo and all that. They took them putting that together, but Danny Ainge was wise in that. He was like, I see the writing on the wall with these dudes. He got rid of them, got a bag from the Brooklyn Nets, and look what it turned into. That got him what? Kyrie Irving. That got him Jason Tatum. That got him Jaylen Brown. I mean, you see what I'm saying? So now Boston's relevant for another decade at least, or plus, because you got young superstars that came in. I know the Kyrie thing didn't work out, but just getting Jaylen and just getting Tatum really propelled that that organization. And not that I care anything about the Boston Celtics, being a retired Laker fan. So, you know what I'm saying? So, but the Golden State Warriors, man, they got some serious decisions to make. If I was the GM of the Golden State Warriors, I would try to move Chris Paul, Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, guys like that. to see if I can get back some ancillary pieces this year that would help me to compete. They still can shoot. They can't play a lick of defense and they're too small. That's what their problem is. They can't play a lick of defense and they're just too darn small. So if I can address my defensive needs, if I can address my shooting, I would, and give it one more shot. Because again, this team is 2 years removed from a championship, y'all. That's it. So that's what I would do if I was the Golden State Warriors. If it doesn't work this year, this summer, I'm having that talk with Clay. I'm having that talk with Draymond. Clay, I'm sorry. If I resign you, it has to be on an extremely team-friendly deal. And Draymond, we're going to look to move you. Honestly, I'm just going to be real with you. With everything we've tolerated, dealt with, we're going to look to move you, bro. And then do something different, because you move Draymond, you might as well change your whole offensive system. Because people don't realize he's the transmission of that whole thing. Now, you may call Steph Curry the engine, but he needs this. Draymond Green's the transmission of that thing. You see what I'm saying? He makes everything turn in that offense. And those guys know that. So you got some serious decisions to make. Real quick, because I don't want to keep this video too long. I like to keep them about 10 minutes. I'm at 6.5 already. I wanted to talk a little bit too about this quote-unquote issue we have in the NBA with free throws being given to teams like the Los Angeles Lakers or all the big market teams. Man, I wish people would just quit crying about this crap. I really would. It shows me a lot how people get caught up in fandom, and they can only see stuff from one view. For people to have a mindset that the game should be called evenly, meaning there should be an even amount of fouls going around the board, that means that the talent level is even. And the talent level is not even. There may be parity in the NBA, but there are mismatches and advantages in every single game. And, you know, this last game, I guess it was the Lakers versus the Toronto Raptors. Everybody's all up in arms because the Lakers shot like 20-something free throws in the fourth quarter, and Toronto only shot 2. Well, go back and really look at the game. I saw one play that they could have called a foul for Toronto that they didn't call. That's it. I saw one play. And every play that I saw for the fouls they called for the Lakers were actual fouls. Every single foul that Toronto that got called for was an actual foul. Now, people don't put the context on it because, like in that particular game, Toronto was trying to extend the game. So they did this fouling thing. So they had 5 or 6 fouls that were intentional fouls and gave the Lakers 2 free throws each time. So you're talking 10 to 12 free throws out of those 24 that came just because they were purposely trying to foul. That's a big difference, because I believe the Toronto committed 13 fouls in that quarter and the Lakers committed 5. So if you take away the 5 or 6 intentional fouls, now you're looking at like 7 or 8 to 5. And nobody's crying. But you're talking about a team that has 2 superstars in the Lakers, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who make a living by scoring in the paint. They are 2 of the best all time in scoring in the paint and getting to the free throw line. So you should expect that to take place when you play a team like that. Why do you think the Lakers have led the league in free throws since they got Anthony Davis? You understand what I'm saying? We all know that superstars get more calls. It's the superstar treatment. That goes for any team in the NBA, not just the Lakers. Any team in the league, superstars get calls. But when you have 2 superstars that make their living by going to the basket and shooting in the paint, they don't make their living by shooting jumpers like a lot of these superstars do. You know what I mean? The superstars in the Clipperville, the superstars in Boston, all these dudes shoots a whole bunch of jumpers, man. They do. But that's not the case with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So I just think people need to pipe down, quit crying. It's the NBA. It's how things work. And when you pressing in the fourth quarter and you're going to the basket and the team is already undersized, Toronto was missing their center. So they were already starting like Thaddeus Young, a 6'7", 6'8" guy on Anthony Davis. So they already had a clear mismatch. So then you just exploit that, but everybody wants to get mad and act like that cost them the game. No, that's just more fandom hate Because, you know, people really do love to hate the Lakers, and they hate superstars like Joel Embiid and all that. I don't really hear people crying about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he's shooting 9 free throws a game. I don't hear people crying about him. But I just think people need to pipe down, actually understand the game of basketball, and understand that the officials are doing the best they can. Now, do I think the NBA officials are the best officials in the world? Hell no. I don't. They're probably some of the worst. You want them to be consistent, but that ain't going to always happen. But 1 or 2 calls in a game, you can go through the course of a game and watch it and rewatch the game. I guarantee you can find 5, 6, 7, 8 calls per team that just were blatantly and just didn't get called. These guys are human. They miss stuff. Honestly, I think the officiating in the NBA was actually better when they only had 2 officials. Those guys actually had to work and earn their money. 3, because of their angles on the court, they're barely even running. And I just think it's kind of made them a little lazy. Honestly, I think it's kind of made them a little lazy. All right, man, I'm going to check out of here, man. This Pastor Rufus coming back again for the Beat 139 Sports Podcast, better known as Elder in these YouTube streets, man. I see y'all around. Shalom to the real ones and salute to everybody else.